As we have already found ourselves over a month into the 2021 NBA season, there have already been a wide range of discussions and players mentioned regarding who is going to come away with the 2021 Most Improved Player Award when it's all said and done this year. A lot of these discussions have revolved around players like Christian Wood, Jerami Grant, and Boucher so far. But today, I want to get into one specific player that we have not been able to see that much of so far this season, but I feel like can be a very strong candidate for this award when it is all said and done at the end of the year. But before we actually get into this video, you guys, I'm going to give you the opportunity right now to go down below and subscribe. We're coming out with brand new NBA videos on a daily basis covering trending topics, countdown videos, what ifs, the list goes on and on. Also, while you're down there, don't forget, if you can, to slap a like on the video as well. I appreciate all the support, as I always say. Thank you, each and every one of you, so much. But without further ado, let's stop wasting your time and let's get into the video. Alright, so as I already previously mentioned in the first minute of this video, there are really only 3 NBA players that get discussed when you are bringing up the idea of who is going to win the Most Improved Player Award in the 2021 season. And to be honest, I'm just going to come out and say who I believe that everyone thinks is going to win it at this point in time, and that is Christian Wood of the Houston Rockets. And with what we've seen out of him so far this season, it's kind of hard to argue against it considering he has jumped up in points per game from 13 to 23 this season. Along with this, his rebounds per game has jumped up from about 6.3 to just under 11 per game throughout the course of the year so far. These are very solid numbers from the big in Houston that relatively came out of nowhere, don't get me wrong, but this video is not about Christian Wood. I'm sure you've already been able to figure out who this video is about, considering I probably have thrown his name in the title of this video. But yes, the sleeper candidate I have, who really has gotten no recognition so far this year and I feel like can make some noise going forward, is Michael Porter Jr. with the Denver Nuggets. Now, some of the biggest reason as to why Michael Porter Jr. has not got any recognition for possibly being in the running for this award is most likely due to the fact that he has only played a total of 7 games as I am recording this video for you guys. But in this span of 7 games, as I already mentioned, I feel like he should be getting a lot more recognition from the media and everyone in general about this award. As through these 7 games, he has put up averages of 18.5 points per game, followed by 7.5 rebounds, which is a more than solid comparison to his season last year, playing 55 games, averaging about 9 points and 5 rebounds per game. What I also feel like is going to do a great job of sparking MPJ into this conversation is the performance he put on last night against the Dallas Mavericks, putting up 30 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 steals on 60% three-point shooting in only 28 total minutes. I don't care how you try to cut that performance, those are some solid numbers from Michael Porter Jr. that caught the eyes of a lot of people. I do know, as it was mentioned previously, that Michael Porter Jr. has already missed a handful of games so far this season, but so far with what we have seen out of MPJ in terms of the total minutes he has been playing game by game, it is a great sign, which can also imply potentially that he is more healthy than he has ever been so far in his NBA career. For those of you that were not aware, last year in Michael Porter Jr.'s total of 55 games played for the Denver Nuggets, he averaged about 16.5 minutes per game. And with only averaging about 16 minutes per game in this span, averaging 9 points and 5 rebounds off the bench is very solid in my opinion. And with this, I think it's safe to say that there were a lot of people asking the question of if Michael Porter Jr. should have been getting more minutes last year, but it obviously did not go anywhere, as he maintained this steady average of play throughout the course of the season and occasionally played a little bit more when he caught fire. However, this year so far, I think it's very clear what Denver wants to use Michael Porter Jr. as, which is currently as a 6th man of the year, as he is still coming off the bench, but if he can keep up these solid numbers, I see no way that he does not make it into the starting lineup eventually for the Denver Nuggets. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong as well, teams are always looking for that spark off the bench that they desperately need, and I would love to see MPJ in the category and discussions for 6th man of the year as well, but there are just some instances I feel like where putting a man into a starting lineup when he's balling out on the bench will help the team overall. So we'll just have to see how Michael Malone and the Denver Nuggets take this, but right now, with the minutes that Michael Porter Jr. has been getting off of the bench, he has been proving his worth and then some, as he is actually averaging starter minutes off the bench right now, as in these 7 games he has played so far this year, he has averaged just about 28.5 minutes per game, which once again we can testify to the idea that he is probably fully healthy or as healthy as he has ever been in his short career so far. And I also do know that there was some noise getting thrown around about Michael Porter Jr. last year with the minutes he was playing, considering when he would come into the game, that a lot of people would throw skepticism at him and say that every time he touched the ball, he was pretty much just throwing it up at the hoop. But the funny thing about this is that when you actually actually look at the stats even from last season and this season so far as well, is that he is making more of these shots than you could probably ask for out of a second-year player in the NBA. Last year, throughout the course of his 55 games played, he averaged about 51% field goal shooting overall on 7 attempts per game, as well as 42% from 3. Along with this, so far this year through his 7-game span, he is shooting 55% from the field overall, along with 48% from 3 on 6 attempts behind the arc per game. Once again, I don't care how you spin it, these numbers are too good to be lowering his minutes or not considering him for this award at this time. The dude can flat out shoot. It's very simple when you look at it, and he's only improving as time goes on, it seems. Along with the shooting statistics I just listed off for you guys year by year, he has increased his efficient field goal percentage by 8% so far this year, shooting an absurd 67% efficient field goal percentage. Like, just the fact of me listing off these numbers to you guys right now and thinking about the fact that I have not seen relatively anything about this man being considered for most improved player so far is just disrespectful in a sense. And don't get me wrong when I'm making this video as well, this isn't any disrespect to Christian Wood, Chris Boucher, or any players that are in the discussion for this award right now and that are the front runners, you could say. I'm just one of those guys who watches the NBA day in and day out and really loves the dark horse stories or the situations where a player is not really being considered for something and then all of a sudden they just jump into the topic of discussion out of nowhere. Because I really do feel like it's only a matter of time before the media grabs onto this story of MPJ playing so much better this year compared to last and runs with it, and he is right there alongside Christian Wood and Chris Boucher as the top dogs for winning most improved player this year. Once again, as I've mentioned plenty of times in this video, it is a small sample size. I know I'm not trying to jump the gun crazily by any means with this statement, but you could definitely also make this same point for the other players. We're still only a month into this NBA season. A lot of things in this league could change by the time June rolls around. Hell, we could even have a 4th or 5th candidate jump into this conversation that we would have never expected to. That's what I truly love about this league so much, you guys. You really never know what to expect on a nightly basis watching these guys play. But I also want to hear what you guys have to say about this. So the comment for today's video is simply going to be, who do you guys think is going to win the Most Improved Player award when it's all said and done in the 2021 NBA season? A lot of guys we've been seeing balling out that we weren't expecting whatsoever this year, but again, a lot can change over the course of 6 months, so let me know what you guys think down below. Once again, I thank you guys so much for watching, and also while you're here, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel again as well. We're coming out with brand new NBA content on a daily basis. You truly don't want to miss out on it, I promise you that. So as always, thank you all so much for the support. I appreciate each and every one of you guys, and I will see you in the next video.